Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome on board. This is a training session about how to deliver a successful workshop. I believe some of you might be teacher trainers. This is an icebreaker. Who can make a sentence out of these three pictures? In the chat, yes, again. Write a sentence in the chat from these three pictures. Who can guess the first word? I love teaching. Oh, wonderful. I don't like teaching. Okay, I love my students, or I love teaching. Yeah, this is a very good one as well. So you believe the first one is I, yeah, from the picture. The second one is love, also from the picture. The third one could be, as you said, teaching, but actually it's not teaching. In the slide here, it's not teaching. It's another word that starts with T, but it's not teaching. Can you guess what it is? I love 10, 9, 8. Yes, very good. Very good. I love training. So guys, if you love training, okay, of course you love teaching. If you want to be a good trainer, you should be a good teacher first. So if you love teaching, okay, then you're a good teacher, or you might be teaching. If you love training, then you might want to become a trainer one day.
Yes, we love training. And
yeah, do you think training is different from teaching, or they are quite similar?
just a little bit.
Yeah, they have a lot of things in common, actually. All right, now for this session, we have three main objectives. The first one is the difference, to identify the difference between a workshop and a lecture. This is objective number one. The second one is the core of this session, the meat of this session, 10 tips on how to deliver a successful workshop. That's the objective that you came today for. A third one, a minor objective today, is to differentiate between the input types and the task formats. As a trainer or as a teacher, you need to be familiar with, you need to understand, or you need to identify the input types that you can use as a trainer and the task formats that you need to design as a trainer. Please take a screenshot and keep an eye on them throughout this session. All right? Or you can take a picture using your phone so that you make sure we are going through these objectives. All right? So, very quickly, what's the difference between a workshop and a lecture? If you would like to answer, you can raise a hand now, or you can just put the answer in the chat if you don't want to talk. What's the difference? Yes, Mr. Ala. Have a try, Mr. Ala. You can open your microphone. Yeah.
Okay. I think one of the differences is attendance, because the attendees are different.
What do you mean by the attendees are different?
I think the presentation is different. I'm sorry, the presentation is different. So
How?
in a workshop, there is much work to do. In a lecture, most of the time the attendees are listening.
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
What I think.
You nailed it. Thank you so much, Mr. Ala. Yes, thank you so much. Guys, in a workshop, hands-on, there is a lot of practice, a lot of work, a lot of activities. But in a lecture, it's not interactive. It's just like a kind of speech. Someone is talking all the time and you're listening all the time. No interaction. So the word that differentiates a workshop from a lecture is the level of interaction. If the attendees are participating, talking, doing activities, working together in pair work and group work activities, then it's a workshop. If they are just listening to you and you are the only speaker, then it's not a workshop, it's a lecture. And here is another question, guys, to make sure you understand the difference. Yes, Mr. Hassan and Mr. Marwan, yeah, good answers as well. So which one you think, guys, is boring? A lecture or a workshop?
Lecture, of course. Lecture.
Lecture is boring because there is no interaction at all.
Yes. And which one is more tiring for the trainer?
The lecture.
The lecture, because you're talking.
Because you all the time talk.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You need to give some opportunities for the trainees to speak so that you can have a rest and you can listen and you can have more energy to continue. Okay, so now you understand the difference between a workshop and a lecture. Another question, do you think what we're doing now is a workshop or a lecture?
A workshop.
The workshop.
Why?
Because we are just participating with each other. Yeah.
Yes, which one is
There were a lot of activities.
I believe so, yeah, but which one is like, let's say, more challenging or more difficult for the trainer?
The workshop.
Yes, because you need to be well prepared. You need to think of every single activity. But for a lecture, it's easy to talk. It's always easy to talk. You know, you just mute everyone and keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. Okay, it might be also beneficial. I'm not saying a lecture is not beneficial because it's boring. No, it could be beneficial, but if you want to make it more beneficial, if you want to maximize the benefit, then you need to make it more interactive. That's the key point, remember. And I have a question for you now. Have you ever used the poll feature on Zoom? Have you used it before?
Not yet for me. Not yet for me.
Okay. Okay, I will try it with you now. The poll feature. It's on the Zoom. You can go to the settings and then you can tick it. Here is a question. I will launch it right now. Now you see the question, guys. Could you please respond? Could you respond, please? This is a poll. You can use it with the trainees or with your students as well. Okay, 27 people said yes. Have you ever given a training workshop or a lecture? 29 people said yes. Good. So we have some lecturers here or some trainers here. 29 people said no, actually 18 people said yes, 10 people said no, and 4 people said we'll do this soon. Yeah. Okay, now I have to end the poll and I will share the results with you. Do you see the results now? Only 78 people participated. The other people didn't. Maybe they are not following, maybe. Do you see the results?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So I will stop sharing the poll now and I will go back to the presentation. All right. So let's move on to another question. I want you to imagine now the 18 people who are trainers, already gave lectures or training workshops. I will send you this link. This is a Padlet link. Have you ever used Padlet? One of the online applications that you can use, like Kahoot, quizzes, and Nearpod. And
Yes, I used it.
very good. I've
Yeah, I
designed
used
an activity just now, and instead of just asking you to write something in the chat. No, I said it's gonna be a better idea to have it on the Padlet. So I will send you the link right now in the chat box. I want you to click the link and write something or type something. What are you going to type? Did anyone get the instructions? I will show you again. Here are the instructions. Give a tip or two to someone who is going to deliver a training workshop. I want you to think, make up your mind, come up with some ideas. You're an expert trainer or lecturer. I want you now to give one piece of advice or two pieces of advice to someone who is not a trainer yet and is going to provide some training. Now, click the link in the chat box and give us one tip or even two. I see 11 people are typing. Very good, very good. You can put your name if you wish, so that if we like one tip, so we can mention the name, yeah. Yeah, I like this one. I like many of them. Be a model. What do you mean by be a model, Mr. Muhammad? Be interactive. Yeah, good one. Thank you, Ms. Hanan. Don't talk all the time. Use a lot of activities. Interaction is important. Perfect, Ms. Amira. Yes. Guessing. Wonderful. You have lots of amazing ideas, actually. I love this. This is inspiring, actually. Be patient. Yeah, I believe so. You have to be patient. If you want to be a good teacher, a good trainer, you have to be patient. Or you will be patient. Participation, training your plan. What do you mean by training your plan? Be well prepared. Involve the trainees. Make it practical and applicable. This is a very good one, Mr. Assam. Yeah, I like it. Have clear objectives. Very good, Mr. Muhammad Matar. Yeah. Rules. Time for each task. Oh, I will go back and check all these responses. And you have the link. You can even add to this link. We will go back to it at the end of the session. And you can check if you got similar ideas like the ideas I'm going to tell you about today. I have 10 ideas or 10 tips, only 10 tips. You might have even more. You came up with more ideas, I believe. Okay, back to the presentation. Thank you so much, everyone. You can stop typing right now on the Padlet, and we will need to go back to it at the end of the session. Okay, let me open the chat again. Okay, nice ideas, guys. This is the first tip. Tip number one, you need to get to know the trainees. You need to get some information about the trainees, the people who are going to attend the training. Okay, so now, could you answer this question? Because for every single tip, I have a question for you. So could you answer this question in the chat? Yeah, so what do you need to know about the trainees? This is a very good question. You will be training some people for 3 days or for 1 day or for 2 hours or even for 1 hour. then you need to ask about those people. What do you need to know about those people? Yeah, very good. Interests, educational background, names, maybe, yeah, of course. Professions, the level of knowledge. Anything not personal, yes, of course. Yeah, we're not dealing with it personally. The cultural background, the reason why they are attending. Yes, very good, Miss Iman. Wonderful. The age, good. If it's not a personal question, yes, you can get the average age of the whole group, not for the individuals. Okay, yes, here are some suggestions for you guys. So number one, the number of the trainees. How many people are going to attend the training? Is it a small group or is it a large group? What do you think? Are we a small group now or are we a large group now? We're 44. What do you think?
It's a small.
No, I think this is a big group. 44 teachers is a big group. You know, small is like what? 5 or 10 or even 12. But we are over 44 trainees, so it's a big group. We don't say it's a large group, but it's a big group, okay? Monolingual or multilingual, what does that mean, guys? Do they speak the same native
They
language?
are all from the same country or different country, or it's the same language or different?
The same native language, yeah. Do they speak the same native language or do they speak different native languages? So guys, is anyone here not speaking Arabic? I mean, the first language is not Arabic. Anyone here? No one? So all of you are Arab, actually? No one is from a different country, from Pakistan, India, England, anywhere? Okay, so this is a monolingual group or a multilingual group? Can you guess?
This is no.
It's a monolingual.
This is a monolingual group, right? And what's the benefit of this? Why do we need to know that the group is going to be monolingual or multilingual? If the group is monolingual, all of you speak Arabic, then what can I do if there is a complex idea? What can I do to help you understand it?
You can use language one.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it depends on the culture, right?
No, I'm not talking about the culture. I'm talking about what someone said. You can use the first language. Who? Mr. Isam? Mr. Abdulaziz. Yes. If I know that the group is a monolingual group, all of you guys speak Arabic, and there is a complex idea, then I can switch. I can use L1. Using L1 is not a sin. I can do it. I can use L1. I can speak in Arabic with you if the group is monolingual. But if the group is multilingual, can I use Arabic? Can I switch? No, it's going to be disrespectful for the other people who are who do not understand Arabic. So the number of the trainees, monolingual or multilingual, closed or open group. If I'm training some teachers from one of the schools, then it's gonna be a closed or open.
Closed.
Close.
Yes, but this group is not closed because you work in different places.
Yeah,
So we can say 46 trainees, monolingual group and open group at the same time. Is it a day training session or an evening training session? Now,
It's an even class.
evening,
it's
of course.
even at night. Now it's 11 or 10.
Yeah.
The evening class, yeah.
Yeah, we can say evening or even night class. Is the motivation, the motivation type, is it intrinsic or extrinsic? Is it from the inside or from the outside? Did you guys have to come and attend today?
No, it's intrinsic.
Yeah,
No.
so this is an intrinsic group because you're coming with no force. No one forced you to attend. So this is an evening one, open one, monolingual, let's say relatively large, not large.
Mr. Said, can I say something?
Yeah, of course, Miss Amira, yes, of course.
Yeah, number two, monolingual. It's I said it's about culture because if we are in the same like we all are Arabian, so we all have the same ideas and opinion about something. So we will
Yeah,
share.
yeah.
But if we
So
are from different countries, yeah,
yeah, so it helps with the cultural background, actually. Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. Yeah. And the final one is the learning style. How many learning styles do we have? The main ones?
I think three.
Yeah.
Three: audio, visual.
Auditory, kinesthetic.
Visual, we have visual learners, we have auditory learners, and we have kinesthetic learners. So
Yeah,
you can have,
that's the word I'm looking for.
yeah, the kinesthetic, yeah. So there is a test. I can send it to you guys. I can put it on my Telegram channel. There is a test which is called VAK. I think the people who did some courses with me, they know this kind of test. I sent it to them before. Visual, auditory, and kinesthetic test. You give it to the trainees before the training, and then based on the answers, you can see how many trainees are visual, how many trainees are auditory, and how many trainees love to move while learning and love to read and write. This is a very good test that you can use even with your students, not only with the trainees. So now, this is the first tip. Can anyone recall it and put it in the chat, please? Yes, very good, very good. GTKY, yeah, get to know the trainees, and you can also have a GTKY activity for the trainees to know you. You need to decide on the session topic or the session title. And here is a question. What is the session topic and title this session?
How to deliver a workshop for trainer or for teacher, a successful
Yes,
workshop.
good, 80%. There is something missing.
How to deliver a successful workshop, practical tips.
Yes.
10
Practical
tips.
10, yes, very good. So the topic is training of trainers.
Yeah.
Training of trainers. And the title of the session is this: how to deliver a successful workshop, 10 practical tips. Very good. Good job, guys. So can you just give me any of the titles, one of your workshops? I heard like 18 people give workshops before. Can you just tell me about any of the titles of your workshops that you had before? Anyone here, guys? One of the teacher trainers here? Okay, Mr. Marwan. Okay, about motivation. Good one. Yeah, it's a very good one. How many teachers did you have, Mr. Marwan, in that workshop? Or was it a workshop or a training? I mean, like for an hour or two, or for some days? Workshop. Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, so who can recall tip number 2 in the chat very quickly? Tip number 2, guys. I'm testing your memory now. Miss Hanan, okay, how to teach vocabulary, yeah, and test it was one of her workshops. Good. Decide on the topic. Very good, Miss Basma. Think about the topic. Decide on the title. Yes, very good. Good one. And tip number 3 is this. I remember one of you wrote this on the Padlet. Who is he or she? Probably Mr. Muhammad Matar, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, create some ground rules. What do we mean by rules, guys?
Rules means if you like to, if
Maybe the
someone would like
instruction
to,
that you will give.
I will give you a chance, Miss Amira, after Mr. Muhammad. Yes, please go on, Mr. Muhammad.
Switching off the phones and
Yeah, this is a good example. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Asking questions.
Yeah, how to ask questions or how to respond to the questions. Yes. Very good. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Miss Amira, yes, please.
Yeah, it's like the instruction that you put in the classroom, like just mute your phone, mute your microphone, don't open your video, don't speak, just raise your hand if you want to ask or answer
Perfect.
some questions,
Perfect.
write on the chat box.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Yes, very good. Very good. Some rules, ground rules. We can, you know, in my Delta Module 1 course and my TESOL course, we don't call them rules, actually, because we're dealing with teachers, you know. The word rules might be a bit offensive. So we call them commitments. We have some commitments. If you watched any of the info sessions about Delta Module 1 course or about the TESOL course, you will see the commitments that we had. We had nine commitments for the trainees throughout the whole course, because Delta Module 1 course lasts for four months, and the TESOL course lasts for 3 months. So you need to have some commitments, some rules in mind, so that you protect people and you have a wonderful time and a nice learning experience. Yes, very good. What rules, as you said just now, how rules can be different for a workshop from a training? How? A workshop is...
I think in lectures, your most talk will be directed to the lecturer.
No, we're not talking about lectures. We're not talking about lectures.
Yeah, in a workshop, your talk will be with the other participants, mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, you will spend most of the time talking to your fellow members in the group.
Okay. Actually, I'm asking about this because we're not talking about lectures today. I just wanted to differentiate that between lectures and workshops. But here I'm saying that if I'm talking about a workshop and a training, which one is longer?
Yeah, I think it depends on the time. So if I'm speaking about a workshop, it lasts for an hour, 2 hours, and that's all. But the training, it lasts for some days. So you need to do something that will continue with the people around you for like the whole period that you're given them the training.
Yes, very good. Thank you, Ms. Rania. So for a workshop, you will not be given a lot of rules, actually, simple rules, the basic ones. But for a training, like our TESOL course, 3 months, Delta Module 1, 4 months, you know, so you can give more rules, more complicated and complex rules. So it depends on the training you're going to give. If it's just a simple training for an hour or an hour and a half, or even for 2 hours, then you don't have to give a lot of rules because it's just 1 hour or 2 hours. If it's a full training for a month or for 2 months or something, then you need to give more rules, more complicated ideas, maybe sometimes. Okay, so this is...
I just have a small question about setting the rules. Here we are speaking about setting the rules. So if we have a training, should I set my rules or the commitments after the icebreakers, or when exactly in the training part?
You can do this in an info session. If you have an info session or an orientation session just before the training, you can do that. You don't have to do it in the first input session, because that will take too much time, you know? So you can do it before. You can just send it on the WhatsApp group. If you have a WhatsApp group, you can put them on the platform or the website. If you have a website, you know, you can send them privately to each and everyone in the training, but you don't have to do it in the first input session, because in the first input session, you will be too much busy, actually. So anytime, it depends on how you want to deliver the message, you can do it. So tip number 1, you're welcome, Ms. Rania. Tip number 1, get to know the trainees. Tip number 2,
decide on the topic.
The topic. What do you want to do?
Decide
Yes, the message you want to deliver, the topic, the title. Tip number 3, you can set some ground rules or some commitments for the trainees. Okay, tip number 4, the learning objectives or the outcomes. This is a very important tip, actually. You need to have some learning objectives. Do you remember how many learning objectives we have for this session? The people who attended from the
3.
first. Yeah,
3.
very good. Do you remember them? Can anyone remember them? I told you you can take a
Yes.
screenshot or you can take a picture.
The workshop, the difference between workshop
Yes.
and the lecture.
Yes.
Number 2, the tips to deliver a successful workshop, but I forget the third one.
The
I'm
third
sorry.
one was about what, guys? Do you remember? Does anyone remember?
The input types and also
Yes,
formats.
yes. This is a very important thing. The input types that you can use as a trainer and the task formats, how to design tasks for your students or for the trainees. Okay, so I already have some objectives in mind that I want to achieve today. And I do this in all my training sessions, in the teacher training courses. And at the end of the session, I ask the trainees, please have a look at the objectives. See whether we achieved all of them or some of them or none of them. If they say, well done, we achieved all of them, then fine, you did a good job. If they said, no, we didn't achieve all of them, actually, I'm still not sure about number 2 or the second one, then you need to pay more attention when you design your tasks. But here is a very good question. How to state the objectives? What kind of verbs should we use? Because I see some trainers and some teachers, they say at the end of the session, teachers will be able to, will be able to understand. Understand is wrong, guys.
Yeah, of course.
We can use applicable verbs, like verbs that related to applying things. Apply, because speaking about.
How about this? No, at the end of the session, teachers will know something.
They are not smart objectives.
Students will know.
Yes.
We cannot measure them.
What kind of verbs?
Bloom's action verbs.
Okay, taxonomy, yeah. Remember this word, guys. Measurable verbs.
Measurable verbs, yes.
Yeah.
Remember this word. And I have a list of some measurable verbs here. Like this, you can say by the end of the session, you will be better able to identify, or you will have identified. So you can have it will plus the infinitive form of the verb, or will have plus the past participle. Yes, you can do this or that. It's fine. So identify or identify. Yes, this is a good verb that you can use. Discuss is another good verb. Recognize, describe, review, and compare. You can even search for more measurable verbs, or if you know any other measurable verbs, you can tell us now very quickly before we move on to the next one. And if we go back to the objectives, okay, the objectives of this session, you can have a look at them now. Are they measurable?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They are very clear.
Yeah, identify, discuss, recognize, yes, compare, differentiate. Good. Okay, so this is tip number 4. So tip number 5. Yeah, this is one of the objectives. Use different types of input. What input types do you use in training, guys? Tell me in the chat. What do I mean by input types? If you did train the trainer, then you know what input types. You know what I mean here. Anyone here did train the trainer? Yeah, Mr. Isam. Realia, okay, real objects, showing a video. Mr. Raed, yes, very good. Mr. Ahmed, videos, materials. Okay. Photos or pictures, agree, disagree. They are measurable verbs since they measure the learners. Okay, we moved from this already. Okay, PPT, handouts. Okay, there is noise, guys, from one of you. I'm sorry, I have to mute you. But if you have something, of course, you can open your microphone and speak. Yeah, you mentioned some of them, actually. One of the input types is videos. Unluckily, I didn't prepare a video for you today because it's a short workshop. But you can, if you're going to have a training workshop or a training session, you can prepare a video to and allow the trainees to watch it and comment on it. Audio recordings, you can allow them to listen to something and give opinions. Texts or stories, written things, pictures or images, worksheets and handouts, online games like Kahoot, quizzes, Nearpod, or any of the activities and tasks we have on Google. We have live worksheets. This is a very good website. Have you ever, guys, used it? Live worksheets. Have you heard of it? Have you used it before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just search Google live worksheets, then create an account, then go to the search bar and type the present simple tense. You will find a lot of interactive worksheets. You can just send the link to the students and they will start doing it and finish and you get the marks. It's a very good one. Live worksheets. Remember, guys, if you want to take notes now and search later. So I'm going to remove these input types now, and I want one of you to open the microphone and tell me the 5 types of input or the 6 types of input I mentioned just now. Yes, who has the golden memory, the fish memory?
Okay.
Yes. Miss Amira. I would take Miss Amira first and then Mr. Ala because she raised the hand. Okay, Miss Amira.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 1, videos. Number 2, text or stories. Number 3, number 3, work life sheets or handouts. Online website like quizzes or Kahoot. And also some videos and some audio.
Thank you so much.
That's it.
There is one thing Miss Amira didn't mention. Yes, Mr. Ala, can you find it? Can you tell us what it is? Yes. There's one thing she didn't mention.
Yes.
What? Which one?
Text and stories.
The picture.
Oh, she mentioned text.
Okay.
She mentioned text.
The connection.
She didn't mention this one, I guess, right? Did she?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay. So these are the types of input, guys. If you want to deliver a successful workshop, you need to use different types of input. Use a video, audio recording, a text, story, a picture, a worksheet or a handout, an activity, a game, like an application. What is the application that I used today with you? I didn't use Kahoot. What is the application? Can you go back?
Padlet.
Yes,
Padlet.
yes. It's an interesting thing, you know? And instead of just asking you to type in the chat all the time, no, you can type on the Padlet and we all can see what you typed, and even we can have them for a long time. How many tips for now?
5.
Okay, 5 tips. Now I want you to work in groups. I want you to work in groups in 5 minutes. Please mute yourself unless you are speaking, please. Because sometimes there is noise in the background. So now you work in groups in 5 minutes to answer these 2 questions. Can you take a screenshot, please? Okay, did you take a screenshot, guys?
Yep.
Okay, so now are you going to work in groups or in pairs? How much time do you have?
5 minutes.
Good. How many questions are you going to discuss?
Only 2.
2.
Very good. Very good. Wonderful. Yes, 2. Okay. Hold on a second. Yes, we have 6 groups of 7 and 8. Okay, wonderful. Please accept, guys. Join. Someone didn't join. Miss Basma, join, please. Join them.
Action patterns for the same things in teaching in the classroom.
So I think everyone is muted, you know. Okay.
Yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. Clear enough. Okay.
Interesting and dynamic.
Yes. And most
Yeah.
importantly, they will not feel bored.
Yeah, right.
Hello, Miss Isra. Nice hearing from you.
Yes, yeah.
So we can say, why is it important for motivation, right?
And also considering the
Yes,
different
right.
styles of learning, just
Yeah.
like VAT.
Mr. Assam, no one here is talking with you, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going to move you to another breakout room, but I have to. I think you can you leave this this breakout room?
Yeah.
To the main room. So leave it, not leave the. Okay, good.
No.
Different pattern, motivation, different ideas. Because if you change the students or pairs, you will get new ideas. Even the teacher himself won't think about these ideas. New ideas. This is what I think. I'm not. If you agree or don't agree, but maybe.
Yeah, totally agree, I think.
Okay, welcome back, everyone.
Welcome, Mr. Said.
Welcome back to the main room, guys. Okay, some people were not talking in the breakout rooms, and this is a big problem because I divided you into 6 groups, but some groups were not participating. So sorry if you found yourself alone in one of the groups. Okay, so the first question, what is meant by patterns of interaction?
I think like the interaction patterns in the real classroom, like peer work, group work, and whole class. So we have the same in the training session.
Good, good, good. The first one is the individual pattern. Like sometimes I ask you to type in the chat, right? Sometimes I give you the Padlet and I ask you to write your own ideas on the Padlet. So this is individual work. Can I do individual work only throughout the whole lesson or the whole session?
No, I don't think so.
No, it will be boring.
Yes, having all the activities in the whole class, the teacher, the students, T2 students.
Yes, you should vary.
Yes,
you should
it's
vary the
boring.
patterns.
And it's gonna be teacher. You know what I want to say here?
In time.
Huh?
Centered.
Center. And this is not acceptable, guys, in teaching or in training.
Yeah.
You have to have learner what?
Centered.
Center. So that students can be
like
motivated.
60% and 40%.
You remember how many breakout rooms did we have till now in this training session?
6.
How many? No, I mean, how many times did I send you to the breakout rooms?
One time.
One time.
This is the first time, right? Yeah, yeah. And when I was planning this session, I was thinking of this. Should I send you to breakout rooms, to working groups, to discuss something or to talk about something? And then I said, yes, but I don't want to do this in the very beginning of the session because they might not yet be familiar with each other. So I will do this in tip number, this is tip number what?
6.
Yes, very good. So yes, guys, as you said, thank you so much. And these are the different patterns of interaction. What's A? What's A?
Teacher,
whole class.
And students.
Yes, you are the octopus teacher. You're talking to everyone in front of everyone, and everyone is talking to you in front of everyone. So this is open class, or you can also call it whole class. B.
Individual.
Yes, individual. So you ask the students to work individually to do something by typing in the chat or typing on the Padlet, or even there is an application or a website which is called whiteboard.fi. Have you ever tried this application? It's a website.
Yeah, I tried
Can you
it.
write the name of this
Yeah,
website?
I tried it.
Whiteboard.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Whiteboard.fi. This is an application, a good application. You can just take the link, send it to the students, and then they will join like the Padlet, but they can draw. They can draw nice stuff. So individually, this is individual work. We can't do this all the time. We have to vary and diversify the patterns of interaction. C, what is C?
Pair.
Pair work.
Pair, yes, pair. And it's the pair work is different from peer checking. There is a big difference between pair to and peer classmate, okay? Because some people just mispronounce the word and say peer class. No, it's pair work, and the other one is peer checking. The final one, D, is a
Group work.
Group work. Of course, there are a lot of details here. If you ever did TEFL, TESOL, CELTA, then you know these different types of patterns of interaction, when to use each one, how to use each one, how to ask the students to check after an individual activity, how to ask them to check after a pair work activity, how to ask them to check after a group work activity. But of course, we have
a question.
Yeah, but now I just want to say this. I just want to complete the sentence. We can't do everything now. I'm just trying to give you hints and This is not a session for teachers. It's a session for trainers. So you must be familiar with all these things that I'm saying. I'm just trying to remind you. I'm not explaining the different patterns of interaction. Might take half an hour to tell you how to ask students to peer check after an activity, but I'm just trying to give you a hint or give you a tip on to diversifying the patterns of interaction. If we discuss it in detail, this means it might take us half an hour and we are not going to continue the session, or the session would take 3 hours. So you must be aware of this. Yeah, if it's a quick question about this, yes, no problem.
Yes, I just have something to make sure that I'm making sure here that most of the things are related to teaching, like we have interaction patterns, and we also, do we have like frameworks in the training session, like TTT or something like this? We apply it in the session or what? Because I noticed this in some of the sessions I've watched for your videos on YouTube or other trainers. So am I right or?
Okay, you're talking about the frameworks for teaching.
Yeah, do we have something like this for the training or no?
No, because we use frameworks to teach receptive skills, productive skills, and the systems of the language. In the training, we don't have this. We don't have systems. We don't have skills. We're training people on how to train other people. So we don't have that kind of frameworks or lesson shapes. But of course, we can do some techniques like testing the trainees.
Yes, this is what I'm speaking about.
Yeah, we can of course adapt. You know, like I'm going to train you on error correction, but I think you have some information about how to correct the students' errors. So I can test you, then I can train, and then I can test you again. So, but it's not the TTT framework. Yeah, because it's not a language lesson.
The last thing, can you suggest a book or something at the end so that we can read or have a
For what?
background about this? For training, if I'm going to deliver a training session or something like that.
For training in the last workshop I did about how to become a teacher trainer, I sent some material. You didn't get them.
In the Telegram, yeah.
Okay, I will send you the link to my Telegram channel, and there after the session I'm going to send everything.
I'll be grateful.
Yeah, thank you so much. So tip number 7, guys, have a clear plan with clear procedures for the training. And have you ever, guys, designed a training session plan? I believe if you did train the trainer, then you did it. Because in the train the trainer course, you have to design a training session and give feedback to someone who designed the training session. If you have never done this, if you don't know how the training session plan looks, then I can send my training session plan that I did, the one I did in the train the trainer course. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, sure. What are the procedures that you should have in a training session? Like the stages in a lesson plan. Do you remember? Lesson plan, we have reason, we have, yeah.
Can I say?
Yes.
Yeah, can I say? Warm up, lead in, presentation, practice, and the practice include the guided practice and free practice.
This is a framework.
It's a class.
Yeah, this is a framework. Remember, guys, I am not talking to teachers now. I'm talking to trainers. You are supposed to be someone who is involved in training or someone who is interested in training. Remember, so I'm not talking about the language systems and the language skills and how to teach the systems and how to teach the skills. And this was a workshop, the first workshop I did, and it's on my YouTube channel, Celt and Delta Secrets. If you visit the channel, you will find the workshop over there. You can watch it. But anyway, it's also a good answer because you said some of the procedures I want to show you today. The first thing you need to start with, as I said, GTKY. So allow the trainees to know you in brief, and you can also ask the trainees to tell something about themselves. Number 2, have an icebreaker. Do you remember the icebreaker I gave you in the very beginning of the session?
Yeah, the 3 pictures.
Yeah.
Because I wanted
photos, like I love teaching.
Yeah, because I wanted to make the procedures practical. Believe me, I remember once in one of the Delta Module 1 sessions, was about phonology, the connected speech features. I gave them a passage, but the passage was not words, but phonemic transcribed, and I asked them to read it, you know?
Yeah.
So this was a good icebreaker to the session. Have a lead-in activity if you wish, like the one I gave you, the difference between the lecture and workshop, and if you ever delivered a workshop or given a speech or a lecture. I give you the poll. Do you remember the poll? Zoom poll.
Yeah.
And this is the meat of the session, the core of the session, the variety of activities you're going to use. And we will come to this in tip number 8. What kind of activities? The task formats that you can use as a teacher or also as a trainer. The final one is a reflection task, and we will come to the reflection task in tip number 9. Tip number 9, yes. So tip number 8, variety of tasks. Who can give me some examples of the task formats, the types of questions that you might give to the trainees?
Okay, so you can just give them a matching activity.
Very good one. I
And
like it.
also complete the following.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Or we may have missing words and they should complete it.
Yeah.
False, maybe.
Actually, this is one of the similarities between teaching teachers and teaching.
True and false.
Very good. So we're talking about the task formats now.
Yeah.
The types of tasks that you can give to the trainees to make the session enjoyable. You have to use a variety of tasks, not just one or two kinds of tasks. Okay, matching, completion, true or false. What else, guys? Classification, yes or no?
Yes, we can use closed and open questions.
Yes.
Closed-ended and open-ended questions.
Good, wonderful.
And reorder also.
Choosing.
Ordering.
Description, how to
Yes,
describe.
choosing, MCQ, yeah. What did you say?
How can you describe this photo?
Okay, or agree and disagree. We can say comment on something, on a picture or on a video. Yeah, so all these
can also,
are...
Yes, we can also use fun activities and puzzles. Puzzles and yes, and fun activities.
Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Can we add jigsaw reading, or it will take much time?
Jigsaw reading in training is not applicable unless you're training the teachers to train students on how to do jigsaw reading. You know?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can also, if you have an activity as a trainer that you are going to put the students in, the teachers in groups and work for jigsaw, yeah, it's you can adapt. You can adapt, of course. So this was one of the objectives, guys. The last objective was about the different types of input that you can use and the different task formats. You can give them a video and then you ask them to comment on the video, statements, and ask them to say agree or disagree. I did this in one of my TEFL sessions, TEFL TESOL sessions. It was about classroom management. Yeah, I gave them some statements and then I asked the teachers before the session on the WhatsApp group to agree or disagree. Let me give you an example. A teacher should echo the students' answers.
Agree.
No, disagree. Disagree. So I was, yeah, this was a statement.
I think there is a debate about it, you know.
Generally speaking, generally, okay, I would tell you, anything that can have a debate actually, but generally speaking, you as a teacher, you shouldn't echo, you shouldn't repeat what the students say, you shouldn't repeat what you just said. Generally speaking, you might have some good reasons to echo. Anyway, echoing is not our main concern today, but this was an example. I gave them 8 or 7 statements about the classroom management strategies and techniques I was planning to talk about. And I said, guys, do this task and send it to me privately before the session. So this was a good thing to put them into, to make the picture clear before the session. Yeah. So do you have any comments on any of these task formats, guys?
And also you can just use more than one way in the training session itself. I've tried this. It was a video, I think, and also, do you agree or disagree? And this one actually is really beneficial for other teachers, just to know, you know, if they were mistaken in a point or not, in indirect way.
Good. Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Really yes.
Wonderful. Sometimes, yeah, sure.
I have a question about respond to sentence stems. I don't understand what it means.
Good. I love the question. Does anyone know, guys? You don't have to be the superhero, the one who answers all the questions. One of your students asks a question, ask the other students to answer. One of the teachers asks a question, ask the other teachers to help. Does anyone know what I mean by respond to sentence stems? What does this mean? No one. Okay. This is complete. This is what you said.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Yeah, like for example, if I have low-level learners in class, can you complete this sentence? And you ask the teachers to finish the sentence, respond to the sentence stem. This is the sentence stem, the prompt.
I understand now.
Yeah, and they will complete the sentence using different ideas and different words, and then they can compare their answers and discuss, and they might get some of the good ideas you want them to know. So this is about this. What I'm talking about now is about the input types or the task formats.
The
task format.
Good. Do you remember any of the input types I mentioned earlier?
Yeah. Videos,
yes, it's videos,
pictures, realia, I think.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, these ones, yeah. Videos, audios, texts, pictures, worksheets, online applications or websites. Yes. The different input types, different patterns of interaction, different task formats, having a GTKY activity, icebreaker, lead-in, having a reflection task, then you're delivering one of the best sessions ever. Everyone will love you and you will get like good feedback at the end. And we all learn every day. Okay, tip number now. Which tip are we going to talk about?
9.
And how many tips left now?
9.
10.
How many left?
8.
2. Yes.
2.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, tip number 9, have a reflection stage at the end. How can we do this and why is it important? What is a reflection task, guys? Does anyone know? Could you please raise a hand? Don't just answer. Raise a hand if you would like to help with this. Raise a hand, please. Raise a hand, please. Could you raise a hand? Could you raise a hand, please? If you, yeah, thank you so much. Okay. What is a reflection task? Mr. Isam, have a try, Mr. Isam.
Okay, so it's a kind of feedback.
Getting feedback or giving feedback?
Getting feedback on the session.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Rania, what do you want to say about it?
I'm saying the training experience is what happened through the training part or the training days. So when we reflect on this, I might take some feedback from the trainees and also give them feedback and check with them the objectives if we achieve them or not. And it's really important for the trainees to get to realize what happened with us in the training sessions and summarize this.
Okay, thank you. So I would say you answered the question how or why do we reflect? Why do we need to reflect? Can Miss Amira or anyone else give me a way how to reflect? Not why should we reflect, how to reflect. What kind of task can I give to the students or to the trainees to reflect?
Yeah.
You know, I think we ask the students to tell us what they benefited from the lesson. You know, what else they want to know. You know, the information gap in their mind. You know,
okay,
what they want to know.
Thank you so much. So this is a way, guys, you can use to reflect on the students' learning experience to help them stay focused on the task. What did we learn today? How can we use it in real life or in our life? This is one way. Another way,
complete the following, yes or
true or false, or let's say yes or no. And then you can give them some questions like, we use the verb plus S with he, she, and it, if you're teaching the present simple or if you taught the present simple. And they need to respond, yes or no. We use the verb with S, with he, she, and it. Yes or no? Present simple, yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so if they say, if one of the students said no, then most probably the student didn't understand or didn't assimilate information yet. So these are two ways. But in training,
with activities in the training session, like a Padlet or a poll, like Zoom, and like this, the trainees will go to these websites and vote.
Yeah, it can be. In training, we usually do this. We give these two questions or these two prompts in training. Remember, so if you're training teachers, maybe you can't do the true, false, or the yes, no, or you can't do this unless you're teaching like some special key facts. I used to do it in how to teach IELTS, the how to teach IELTS course. I used to give them 5 statements at the end of the session and ask them to say true or false or yes or no. But in training, usually I do this. Something useful I have learned today about conducting a workshop is a question I still have about conducting a successful workshop is, let's move on to tip number 10. Tip number 10 is evaluate your workshop. Is it important, guys, to evaluate your workshop?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I want to know what I did today was good or very good or excellent or bad. I want to know. I want to reflect on this training experience. So it's very, very important to reflect or evaluate on the training experience or teaching experience. Ask the students to give you feedback, or you ask the trainees to give feedback. We have 2 questions, Miss Amira. Before you ask your question or before you comment, please. What tools can we use to evaluate a workshop like this? Yes, say.
Yes, surveys.
Okay.
Survey, yeah, good. What else?
Yeah,
Questionnaires.
I can use
Yes.
the poll, like poll and Padlet. I can use Padlet, yeah, and poll, yeah.
Good. Or the poll, yeah. So you can use, guys, you can use Google Forms. Have you ever used Google Forms for like to design a test or to design a questionnaire or something? Have you ever done this?
Yes, me.
Yeah.
It's a very good tool online. You send them the link. Like I do this at the end of my courses. I teach IELTS, how to teach IELTS, TOEFL, TESOL, Delta Module 1. So basically, at the end of the course, we send the link to the trainees and ask them to evaluate the course, the trainer, the content, the materials, the organization, the participation, everything. So this is a good thing to use Google Forms. If you're in physical attendance face-to-face, you can give them a paper questionnaire like this one. I designed this one 2 years ago or a year ago. So you can use something like this, of course. Or as Miss, yeah, you want to take a screenshot? I will send you the material, don't worry.
It's not about this. I'm speaking about the points that I can mention in the sheet or the Google form I'm gonna create.
Actually,
like what?
Yeah, you want to say something, or this is the question, the areas or the focus of the question.
This is my question. I want to know the points that I will add in the sheet or the paper that I'm going to give to the trainees to evaluate the worksheet or the trainer.
Good. The offering, the trainer, other elements. So here basically you talk about the content, the equipment, the activities, the trainer, and other elements like the homework assignments, the participation, the objectives of the training, many things. Or as Miss Amira said, you can use the, remember this, poll. If you haven't used it, you can change the Zoom settings. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, poll feature. Did we use the poll in this session? Remember?
Yeah.
What was the question? What was the question?
How many people make a session before?
Training, yeah.
Yeah, have you ever delivered a training session or given a lecture?
Yes. A lecture.
Yes, no, we'll do this soon. Yeah, this was the question. Now I have another poll for you to evaluate this session. I want all of you please to respond to it. I will share it in a second. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
How many questions do you see?
2.
2 questions.
Good. Please answer it, please. لا يا جماعة انتوا بتجاملوني كده يا جماعة. لا انتوا بتجاملوني كده. في حد بياخد 100%؟
That's true.
دي يعني انتخابات حرة نزيهة يا جماعة. قولوا اللي انتوا عايزينه ومحدش يخاف.
You deserve it.
شوفوا دلوقتي انا اتكلمت عربي ليه؟ لان احنا قلنا في الاول ان المونولينجوال كلاس، المونولينجوال when all the trainees speak the same native language, then you can switch into L1. No problem. It's not a sin. You can. طيب البول اللي حضراتكم عملتوه ده في تايبو بس، في تايبو معلش. Did you? I forgot the D because I did it just before the session. So did you enjoy the session? 33 people said yes. No one said no. Alhamdulillah. Was it beneficial? That's so kind of you guys. 33 people said yes and no one said no. You want to see the results? I can show you the results. End poll now. And then share results. Share. Now you see the results, right?
Well observed.
Okay, did you see the results?
Yes.
Yeah, I will stop sharing it now. I will stop sharing it now. This is a very good feature that you can use on Zoom. And finally speaking, look at the outcomes. Again, do you think, guys, we achieved the 3 learning outcomes, or 2 of them, or 1 of them, or none of them? What do you think?
All of them? Yeah, I think
all of them.
Do you think as a trainer, you should decide on the objectives first or decide on the content of the session first?
It depends on the learners.
On the object.
Objectives first or the content first?
I think the
Yeah, because
objectives.
objectives.
I
By the
myself,
objective, you will know your content.
yes, I myself, I first think of the objectives, and then as I go in the planning, I go back to the objectives and edit them as I go. So first of all, think of the objectives, and then when you plan the session, you can go back and modify the objective. Okay, so we're done now. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending this workshop.